You know what's weird? I think most people spend their entire lives trying to escape a feeling they can't even explain. And I think that's what I've been doing too. I left Australia. I sold almost everything I owned. I moved to South America. And I'm starting over. But honestly, I still don't fully know if happiness is a place. Maybe it's just something internal. Because when you strip your whole life back, eventually you're left alone with your own mind. And that's the part that nobody talks about. Right now, I'm riding through Paraguay on a motorbike heading to San Bernardino. And sometimes these rides are the only moments where life actually feels quiet enough to think. Back in Australia, life is comfortable, but comfort can slowly kill your spirit without you even noticing.
There is a real distinct feel about this community and people that migrated here during or post World War II. I wonder if that's why the police are present. Today we're going to experience San Bernardino in Paraguay. I'm going to take you on a motorcycle ride with my mate Damien, who I bought my motorcycle off, and we'll show you the back streets and the country scenery that you'll get to experience. So this is what a landlocked country looks like in South America. This is San Bernardino in Paraguay. My bike is so dirty. We were just riding past this place and I thought, why not stop in and have a look? It looks like it might be a bit of a Saturday flea market. Gotta make sure his hair's on point. You're looking good, mate. It's the coldest day I've experienced. I took the liner out of my jacket. I haven't worn a jacket in the last month I've been riding around. I haven't ridden the last 3 weeks because of my hair transplant. That's 4 weeks yesterday. So that's the update. Actually, the cops are having a look. Hola. Is he gonna wave? Yeah, he gave the thumbs up. I just love the free feeling you get cruising around. No speed limits. Well, there might be, but they're not enforced, and everyone's just out living their best life. I don't think that'd be real. So that's about 38 Australian dollars, which is about 30 American for a pair of sneakers. What's that? Is that it's $1,500, $15, $300? Look at this. That's their taser. I'll see if it works. In Australia, fireworks are illegal, flick knives and pocket knives to carry that are concealed are illegal. Cap guns are pretty much illegal. I mean, I think that's the only thing that's not, but yeah, if it looks like a replica pistol, then it's actually illegal because it's got to have the yellow tip. You're not allowed to have thunder blasters, you're not allowed to have the retracting buttons, you're not allowed to have anything that's concealed at all. You're not allowed to have fun, basically. Having fun in Australia is illegal. My old man used to say how they used to throw fireworks at each other as kids, he and his brother. And now, I don't know what kids can do. They're just so sheltered.
You know, we're all living the same rat race. We wake up, we sit in traffic to go to work, we pay our bills, and we're in the same routine where weekends just disappear. And before you know it, you're 43 wondering, where's your life gone? The crazy thing is, from outside, a lot of people look successful, but internally, they're actually exhausted. I think a lot of men especially feel disconnected these days. People are more connected online than ever, but they're also lonelier than ever in real life. I remember in Australia, everyone was always in a rush. They needed more money, they got a bigger mortgage, they bought a better car. But you keep wondering, what's the end goal? Like seriously, what are we all racing toward? We're all the same. Then I come here to Paraguay, and I see families sitting outside together. At night, people are talking. There's just a slower pace of life. There's less obsession with status. And it makes you question everything. Selling my whole life was the weirdest experience that I've ever had. You realise how much identity gets attached to objects. Your house, your car, your setup, your collectibles. But once you start getting rid of things, that's when you start asking yourself, who am I without all of this? A lot of people secretly want to escape too. They just don't because of fear. It's stronger than their curiosity. Most people watching this probably dream about restarting their life somewhere. Maybe Thailand, maybe Bali, maybe South America. It's not because they hate their country, but it's because they feel mentally trapped. What they don't tell us about freedom is it can get lonely though. Because once you detach from the system, you also detach from structure. And structure is what gives us certainty. When you're traveling, moving country to country, constantly rebuilding, eventually you realize you can't unrun yourself. There's been moments overseas where I've sat alone thinking, why am I still unhappy sometimes? Because I genuinely believed that changing countries would automatically change how I felt internally. But pain travels with you. Oh. Loneliness travels with you. You can't escape your mind. I'm not filming myself because I don't want you to see a grown man cry, because they don't do that. Although today we're told that it's acceptable. You know, I think modern relationships are harder now too. Social media has changed everything. Attention changes everything. People are constantly comparing their lives to everyone else. Just need a moment. Sometimes you realise that you weren't actually chasing love. You were chasing connection. You just wanted someone to understand you. That's why so many people feel empty, even surrounded by people. Because being understood is rare.
All the different market vendors, toasters from around. They look good. Every time I walk past cake, it gets me. I don't remember the last day I haven't had a cake in South America. I'm eating so many of them. I don't know how, it's just the walking that's allowing me to keep the weight off, but the food here is so good. I haven't seen anything that's worth sort of buying to try and send back to Australia to try and flip for a profit. But that's the easy money to make if you send back things like fake watches or whatever, because in auction houses you can sell things like that. Onus is on the buyer to inspect. You don't advertise them as authentic, you just say dress watch, and it's up to the buyer to determine what it is that they're bidding on. Anyone who thinks, well, I'm a water person and I wouldn't want to live in a country without the ocean, this is their river. So if you're not a surfer and you don't need waves, you can get by with all your water activities here. I don't worry about photos. You want me to tell you? No. See, who needs Spanish? I assume you're saying, do you want photo there with the sign? It's like, I haven't actually got any photos of myself in all of my travels. I have no idea what this is. Is it a game? Must be move something. No idea. Music. Oh, it's music, is it? Oh, it does something up there maybe. No idea. Don't know what it does.
One thing I notice in South America is people seem more present. They're less polished, they're less filtered, less obsessed with appearing successful online. Life here isn't perfect. There's chaos, poverty, corruption, infrastructure issues, but weirdly, sometimes it feels more human. In the West, everything is efficient, but emotionally disconnected. Here, things are less organised, but people feel warmer. And I think that's why so many foreigners end up staying overseas longer than they planned. Because they realised they weren't escaping a country. They were escaping a feeling. I think the real question isn't what country is better, but more so what kind of life actually makes you feel alive. Because money matters. Freedom matters. Relationships matter. But peace of mind matters too. Maybe that's why I like these rides so much. No notifications, no noise, no expectations, just movement, just thinking. I still don't fully know where I belong, but maybe nobody really does. I do know though, life moves very fast. I think a lot of us wake up one day realising that we've lived a version of life expected from us, instead of the version we actually wanted for ourselves. So maybe the goal isn't becoming rich or famous, or escaping to another country, but maybe it's building a life that feels real to us. You know, one thing I've noticed lately is that a lot of people are emotionally exhausted. They're not physically exhausted, they're emotionally exhausted. I don't think people even notice it. It's been happening so slowly. Every day, people are consuming thousands of opinions. News, negativity, comparisons, social media. Constantly seeing other people's highlight reels. And eventually your brain starts believing that everyone else is happier than you.
This is the landlocked country in Paraguay. Not bad considering people think that it doesn't have an ocean, because it doesn't. But this is their river. It might as well be an ocean. And yet people talk about, I wouldn't want to go to the central part of South America, there's nothing there. You can do all your water sports in the river. It's actually safer than the ocean. It doesn't have all of the bad creatures like sharks and stingrays and jellyfish and stuff like that here. Might have a few piranhas that might eat your skin here and there, but what's a piranha to you? Little ferry pump boats or something you can go across the river on. Yeah, I'm a bit too heavy. That's just literally thin plyboard walking across that. Gotta use the translator app so you can understand what I'm saying. It is so quiet, it's dead, no one is here. Translate that in Spanish to him.
Está tan silencioso. Está muerto. No hay nadie aquí.
This is how we translate. This is how I meet women on Tinder too. End up sitting at cafe having conversations with the phone, and all the other patrons are looking like this foreigner needs to learn our language because he's looking like a schmuck.
Yes, this is a city, I don't know if you noticed, where we were in the market. Everyone was speaking German. A lot of people from those countries come to settle and live here. And this part where we are now is the beach. And obviously because of the cold, there's no one. But when you come in the warm season, you can't find a spot here.
Wow. There actually is more German probably nationalities than any other that I've come by across all of Paraguay and all the different areas, including Encarnacion. But they seem to go to the remote, beautiful, family-oriented community areas as opposed to the city centre. I don't know if it's like a German thing or maybe that they're just more family-oriented, unlike a lot of the West woke cultures that are taking over the old Christian ethos of what used to be a mother, father, son, daughter unit. They just seem to be overtaken these days with different belief systems, and I'm not for it. I'm definitely opposed to it, and it sucked when the Australian school systems started telling kids that there's 210 genders that they identify, and kids are allowed to go in the opposite sex toilet if they identify as that, and all the other crap that is being pushed down the West. That's why I escaped. I'm glad that my kids are adults now, all 20, 21, 22 this year. I don't know how people deal with it as a parent when you're putting your kids in a system that's educating them this way. I would be homeschooling my kids if I was to have them today.
The older I get, the more I realised almost everyone is confused. Seriously. Even the people that look successful online. Even the people pretending they've got their life figured out. Road noise. It's peaceful. I think that's why I started changing so much over the last few years. I stopped blindly respecting what society tells you that success is supposed to look like. Back in Australia, if you've got the house, the car, the job, people think you're winning. But internally, you can still feel dead. I remember thinking, how many people are living the exact same week over and over again? The same alarm, the same roads, the same conversations, the same stress. And now some people watching this probably think that I'm crazy for leaving. And maybe I am. But I genuinely felt like if I didn't change something, it was going to mentally suffocate me. Starting over sounds exciting when people talk about it online. You know, a new country, a new life, freedom. But what they don't show you is how uncomfortably mentally it can be. You lose familiarity. I can't even say it. Familiarity? Tongue twister. You lose routine. You lose certainty. Sometimes you even lose your identity for a while. There's moments overseas where you realise nobody actually knows you. Nobody knows your past, your history, your reputation. And that can either feel terrifying or freeing. I think that's one reason people reinvent themselves overseas. Because sometimes your environment traps you into being an old version of yourself. Back home, people expect consistency. They expect you to stay the same forever. But humans change. Experiences change you. Pain changes you. Relationships are interesting too, because I think a lot of people aren't actually looking for love anymore. They're looking for peace. A guy once told me, date multiple women and you won't fall in love. Date one woman and you will lose faith in love. Modern dating feels strange now. Everyone's distracted. Everyone's comparing. Everyone's replaceable. Social media made people feel there's always something better one swipe away. And I think that mentally destroys connection. Because real relationships require patience. Real connection takes time. Sometimes I think the internet made people very visible, but very not understood.
Hola, translate for us, he's got something to say.
Te estaba preguntando si querías que volvamos a la...
Nah, you push the button again. Tell him that he must have pushed the button. If you do it this way, it might work. No reception. Oh, look at that. There was signs back there. It's funny that he was just telling me that it's a German community here, because I'll show you something on these abandoned buildings that I probably shouldn't show you. I might even need to blur it out, but there is a real distinct feel about this community and people that migrated here during or post World War II. I wonder if that's why the police are present. Hola.
Hola.
One of these, please. What do you want?
Packet.
Sí, gracias.
Susana, ¿cuánto?
¿Ese de qué es?
Looks good.
Strudel de manzana. ¿Servillete, bravo?
Gracias.
¿Quieres que se lo pasen?
It's just like an empty pastry. It looks better than what it is. I should have got the apple thing, I think.
¿Para cocinar? Perfecto. Eso va a estar ahora, le preparamos.
That pizza looks really good, but Damien's got to get back to his wife and child, so we're already running late. I don't have the time to wait for him to make it.
Permiso.
Okay, gracias. No.
¿No?
You want coffee or go? Do you want a coffee or do you want to go?
You can post your whole life online and still feel completely alone. I think men don't really talk honestly about how lost they feel, especially in their 30s and 40s. Because there's pressure. You got to appear strong, you got to appear successful, you got to be emotionally controlled. I just think a lot of men are quietly carrying stress they never talk about. Loneliness, regret, fear about the future, financial pressure, wondering if they wasted years of their life. And maybe that's why videos like this connect with people. Once someone's actually saying the thoughts people usually keep in their head. I don't think people need fake positivity anymore. I think people just want honesty. One thing I genuinely appreciate about South America is that life feels less manufactured. People here seem more emotionally expressive. Families are all spending time together. People sit outside. People talk. They're present. In a lot of Western countries now, everyone's so isolated indoors, they're just staring at screens. And look, South America has its problems. Every country does. I'm not romanticizing poverty or instability, but I just think that people in the West underestimate how emotionally cold modern life has become. Everything becomes transactional, or has become transactional. Networking, dating, friendships, social media. It just feels that everyone's building a personal brand now instead of building a real life. I used to think that happiness was a destination. Like, you know, once I move overseas, I'll be happy. Once I make enough money, I'll be happy. Once I find the relationship that is perfect for me, I'll be happy. Happiness isn't so permanent. It doesn't last forever. It comes in moments. Like this. Riding through Paraguay. Not so warm air at the moment, but open roads, no rush, just existing for a second. Maybe that's what life actually is. It's just moments. Small moments that either feel meaningful or empty. I think getting older changes your perspective too. When you're young, you think life is endless. Then suddenly you wake up and you realise that it's moved very fast. Your parents age, friends disappear, Relationships end. Entire chapters of your life quietly close forever. And that's probably why I become obsessed with freedom, because I became aware of time. I don't want to wake up at 60 wondering what would have happened if I actually didn't take risks. Sitting on your deathbed with extra money in the bank, living in regret. It's not something I want. I honestly think most people don't even want luxury anymore. I think people want simplicity, peaceful mornings, less stress, good conversations, meaningful relationships, purpose. That's why so many people are questioning modern life now. Deep down they know something feels off. We've got more technology than ever, but people are mentally struggling more than ever. Maybe that's why I keep traveling. Not because I've found all the answers, but because movement makes me feel alive. Nobody ever fully figures it out, or do they? Maybe we're all just trying to build a life that feels meaningful before time runs out. If there's one thing I've learned from leaving Australia and selling everything, moving across the world, it's this. Freedom isn't just about money. Freedom is waking up and feeling like your life actually belongs to you. Thanks for riding with me. I'm going to keep going.